My name is Last Day of Mystery Man, and this is my 18th ever Bold and the Beautiful review episode for the episode that aired today, May 10th, 2023, episode 9015. Now, before I get into that, I'm not going to review episode 9014 because, well, there was nothing really happened in it. It was just an episode that happened. Nothing really important happened. Let me give you the quick notes of what happened yesterday. Nothing of much. It was just, Hope was either trying to convince herself, Liam, or possibly Bad Bell trying to convince the audience that clearly Hope clearly does not miss Thomas being obsessed with her. They did that, they did something, what else? Steffi and Finn was there. I don't care. No one really cares about Finn at this point. And RJ and Thomas had a nice talk. It's really going to show that, man, poor Thomas really is trying to be a different man. That's all that happened yesterday on episode 9014. So getting into this episode, I don't know. I don't know if it's because I cut my hair and somehow the hatred I had for Thomas went away when I cut my hair, and I just see everything in a whole new light because since I saw Monday's episode, so much had changed. I've even gone back and I've watched some old episodes from like early last year and from like late 2021, and it really does go to show you once you have all the context, you really do start to see things differently. I've even gone back and I watched some of the other episodes from earlier this year, and I've gone back and I've looked at some of my old comments, and well, I think I really did misunderstood the story because the story here is not Thomas is obsessed with Hope. The story is Hope wants Thomas to be obsessed with her because she misses Dad. That's the story here, I think. So getting into this episode, with like 5 scenes. Although I didn't, I was up nearly, I nearly almost turned against Thomas again because Taylor showed up. Like, oh great, here comes his unlikable mother. I'm trying to like this dude. Like, come on, Brad, you're not making this easy for me. I'm trying to like this guy again, but you're not making it easy. Luckily, Taylor did not ruin him like she's ruined everything else she's been in since she came back. And well, I don't know, end of 2021. So they're talking about something, I don't know. I think they're trying to turn Thomas into like funny and short moments when he's kind of trying to make jokes, but it doesn't work with Taylor because I don't think of her as his mom. I basically, you know what I think of when I see Taylor with anybody? I'm like, why is this 16-year-old girl trying to have an adult conversation with this fully grown man? That's what I think of. I don't see a guy having a conversation with his mom. I see a guy having a conversation with his 16-year-old sister. Because that's what Taylor is. She's a 16-year-old girl. She is not a woman. Her character is a 16-year-old girl. And if Hope doesn't ruin Thomas, him being Taylor's son might. So they're talking about something about something. So then we cut to Wyatt and Liam, and well, apparently Liam is now back at work, so that's good. And they're talking about apparently they're doing a live stream. They're doing their app thing, and they're making a live stream. I guess they bought a streaming channel for some reason. I'm assuming. I don't know why. I don't know why a publisher firm would need a streaming channel, but okay, a live stream channel that apparently nobody watches. That tells you about what you're getting. So they're doing that. They're talking about that. Apparently, why you have this idea for this app that is the app of apps. Apparently, it's the greatest app of all time. That's not a good marketing port. That's not a good marketing strategy, Wyatt. Because if the app turns out to be horrible, that would be the only thing people remember about it. Is the fact that the app was horrible, not even if that the app was horrible. So they're talking about that, and then I was like, well, maybe we should talk. Maybe we should talk to Hope about doing a fashion thing. Also, who would want to sit down and watch fashion? Who would take time out of their day to go on YouTube or whatever this streaming channel is going to be and go, you know what I would like to see? People wearing clothes. Yeah, because you don't see that every day. You're literally seeing it right now with me with this green shirt on. So they're talking about that. So then you go, well, you could always ask our head designer, Thomas. And I laughed so hard because William's like, oh come on, we got to go there. Well, yeah, I'm going there. I mean, I think Wyatt is probably the only person on this show who can say anything horrible about Hope and get away with it. Because considering what she did to that man. So then we cut to the two hypocrites having a conversation. And well, when I was watching this, all I thought to myself is, wow, you're both hypocrites. You're both terrible people. You're both terrible wives. To all of your husbands. So Steffi comes in, like Hope's doing something. She's thinking about the time. She held Thomas's hand, and now all I think to myself is, wow, this woman has no morals. This woman has no morals. This woman is trying to ruin a man's life. She is literally doing everything in her power to ruin Thomas's life. So Steffi comes in. Oh, great. So she comes in. So they're talking about something. Oh, yeah. The conversation goes to, well, Hope, do you have feelings for my brother? Hope's like, no. Well, why are you turning into your mom? I think you're turning into your mom. And Hope is like, I know I'm Brooke Logan's daughter. Really? Did you? I had no idea, Hope. I thought you were somebody else's daughter. Okay, congratulations. Good for you. You know who your mom is. Good for you. That's all crap for Hope. She knows who her mom is. So that she's like, I might be Brooke Logan's daughter, but that doesn't mean I'm a slut like she is. And no, actually, no, it doesn't. What it means is that you manipulated Thomas to be obsessed with you because you think that's funny and you think that's a good thing. That's what you did, Hope. That's who you are, Hope. That's what you did. That's what you did to Wyatt too. And Douglas technically too, because technically she ruined that poor kid's life. Yeah, I don't know. All of the stuff Thomas did was all horrible up until he kissed that mannequin. After he kissed that mannequin, he tried his hardest to be a better person, but Hope just wouldn't let him. Hope just kept hammering into this poor man's head, you must be obsessed with me. We have a fake son together. You must be obsessed with me. She never said it, but she kept acting like it was. And now all of a sudden, now that he's no longer obsessed with you, Hope, now all of a sudden you want to pretend like you have feelings for this poor man? The poor man is trying to be a better person. That's all he's trying to do. That's all the poor man's trying to do. And you are ruining his life every time you speak to him. Like every time they interact with each other now, poor Thomas is going to have a poor mental breakdown at some point. At some point, the dude is just going to most likely do something horrible again. Yes, the dude lied about Beth, and we all know that was horrible. But let's think about the circumstances let's think about the circumstances since then. Since Thomas has kissed the mannequin, he has tried to be a better person, but every single time, Hope has been there to ruin the man's life. Yeah, this is basically going to be a bunch of Hope bashing, which is actually one of my favorite things to do because I've done it for like 12 years. So they're talking, and Steffi's like, do you have feelings for my brother? Hope is like, no. She's like, well, that's not what I walked in on. No, actually what you walked in on, Steffi, was emotional manipulation by Hope. Also, Steffi, why the hell do you get off trying to talk to somebody about being loyal to Liam when you slept with his father? Why the hell do you get off talking to any woman about being loyal to any man when you slept with your father-in-law? Why do you get off telling anybody this, Hope? No, Steffi. Why do you get off? How do you see the moral in that, Steffi? Don't try to perform this facade as a facade that you care about your brother. Because clearly you don't. Because if you did, you would have stopped this crap a long time ago. You would have stopped him from marrying Hope in 2019 in the first place. But you didn't. Because you're selfish. Because you're self-absorbed. And you only care about one person, and that's yourself, Steffi. I mean, Hope is exactly the same way, too. It's just on different scales. One's annoying. One just keeps trying to go on and on about Steffi. Just keep trying to go on and on. Well, I'm better. Well, I'm good. See, I'm a great person now. No, you're not. You haven't been a great person since November of 2017 when you slept with Bill. So I don't know where Steffi gets off. I don't know where Steffi gets off trying to have the moral high ground here. You slept with your father-in-law. So shut up, Steffi. So Hope is talking. She's like, no. Why do you want to accuse me of this? Basically, she's trying to defend herself. And all I'm thinking to myself is. Could we get a scene where Thomas figured this out? Where Thomas figures out that he did abuse Hope, like he just has a flashback to everything he did to Hope, and then after he has a flashback to the man, going, wait a minute. Okay, all that stuff I did, but after that, look at this. Look at this. All of this since then has been Hope. She's the one who's wanted him to. She's the one that wanted to work with him with hope for the future. She's the one who basically has hammered it into this poor man that his son needs another mom. That his son needs a mom. That his son needs a mom since the mannequin incident. Everything Hope has done to Thomas since Thomas kissed that mannequin has been a cinematic obsession of Hope to make sure Thomas stays obsessed with her. That's all it's been. For 2 years, for about 2.5 years, Hope has done everything in her power to make sure that Thomas stays obsessed with her. It's sick, honestly. But it all makes sense, in a sense, you know? It's like when you have that piece of the puzzle, the rest of the puzzle all becomes clear. And that's all Hope was basically doing in this episode. Is basically talking about how, well, Thomas is so much of a better person now. He has changed so much. He is a great friend. I hate the fact that he's a great friend. I want him to be obsessed with me. It is so sad, honestly. It's like I cut off all my hair. Like I cut off most of my hair when I just somehow figured this out. Granted, this episode happened. Granted, I guess I gotta give Steffi some credit here. Brad Bell some credit for finally being able to make me agree with Steffi for the first time in 5.5 years. For the first time since November of 2017. I mean, Steffi's got a point. I mean, when Steffi said, "Do you miss his obsession with you?" I'm like, yes, she does. I'm like, that's what I figured out. That was honestly when I started to become a fan of Thomas again. It's like these past 3 days have been so much fun. You know, just. No longer having to be the guy on the internet who hates Thomas because it's not what I want him to be. I would like to be the guy on the internet who hates Hope. Could you do that for me? That's what I would like to be. So I guess I should talk about Thomas and Taylor. They had a horrible scene. Honestly, if Hope's not gonna ruin Thomas, Taylor might. But I'm hopeful that he won't. I'm hopeful that eventually at some point he's going to tell his mom, you know what, Mom? I hate you too, by the way. You're terrible too. Where have you been all my life? All you keep doing is leaving for a random amount of time and then trying to come back and pretend like you care about me. Also, aren't you the reason I'm obsessed with Hope in the first place, considering you told me to be obsessed with Hope in the first place? That's where all this started. So even Taylor's not a good mom either. She made Thomas upset with Hope in the first place. Man, poor Thomas is just a victim of circumstances, ain't he? So then Taylor and Thomas start talking about that time Thomas was a kid and he sat at Widget's desk at the old house and he sat with his hands underneath his legs or something. I don't know. So why has it been for the past 4 years? All we've heard from Thomas about childhood is Mommy and Daddy wasn't together. Widget was too much with Brooke. But now all of a sudden we're getting this bullshit from Taylor that they had a nice moment when he was a kid. When did that happen? Is Brad Bell just making shit up now? Brad, you're getting people to like Thomas again. All you had to do was just tell the truth that Hope wants Thomas to be obsessed with her. That's all it took, Brad. That's all you had to do. Let's just finish the story already. I don't know where the story's going, but I hope it ends with Thomas becoming a great person again. Man, that would be nice. Because Matthew deserves so much better than this bullshit they're giving him. That poor guy. Because he seems like one of the nicest people you would ever meet in like any interview he has when he's not Thomas. He seems so nice. But now even Thomas is becoming more and more likable each episode. So then we get back to Liam and Wyatt, and they're having a conversation. I was thinking to myself, man, I bet Wyatt is so happy. I bet Wyatt is so happy that he dodged the Hope bullet. Because then we get to a part of this show where you can even tell Wyatt's face. Wyatt was very uncomfortable with what he was about to say. Which was great from Darren Brooks, because you could really tell that he wanted to make sure that the characters, that everyone saw the character was very conflicted about. Because why have we never got Wyatt's feelings about Hope? Like they had a kid together who died, and that just doesn't affect Wyatt at all. Wyatt just doesn't care. Yeah, okay, sure. I mean, I know Hope doesn't care because Hope doesn't give a crap about anybody but herself, but still. You think she would at least pretend to care, you know? You think she could have a conversation with, hey, remember that time we was married for like 2 weeks, for like 2 months in 2014? Yeah. You know we had a son who died. Whatever. Do you ever think about him? Sometimes. Especially on, on Father's Day and his birthday. So anyways, Wyatt is talking to Liam, and Wyatt is like, I heard you two. They were telling about how they have a sad, and I'm like, I don't care. Good for you. I just love Wyatt's face. I don't want to hear about this. Yeah, I'm with you, Wyatt. I didn't want to watch it either. And yeah, this is just weird. No one cares. No one cares. Nobody. Not even people who like these two. And I don't even think that's me anymore. Actually, that's never really been me. I've only said that now because I figured out Brad Bell was always gonna put Hope and Liam together. So I'm like, I might as well just accept it. Oh, I might as well just accept it. That's literally what I said. I might as well just accept it at the beginning of 2020. And then a global pandemic happened, so that was fun. So why is like, so you two are doing better. Liam's like, yeah, she's more passionate or something. I don't know. And then we get to the funnier part about this that I think is very interesting that Wyatt said it. Because finally, for the first time since 2014, so 9 years ago, almost a decade ago, Wyatt finally gets to express how he truly feels about Hope. I was so happy when he said this. I was so excited. I jumped up and down. I was clapping. I was so happy when he said it. I was like, yes. It might be a small moment, but it was awesome. He said this. Well, it's amazing how Hope seems like she's so different from Brooke. Has Brooke is, a terrible person, a slut. I've heard all this, apparently Wyatt heard all the story. But it's like Wyatt finally gets to express his true feelings about Hope. It's like he gets to finally say, oh, I hate Hope. By the way, I hate Hope. Which, thank God he does. I always figured he hated Hope because you can't blame the guy for, she did leave him. She was in love with his brother the whole time she was married to him, and she did leave him after the son died. She just got up and left. So I can't blame him there. So I think that was good that we finally Brad Bell finally decided to have Wyatt address his feelings towards Hope. And I'm glad that he hates her. So then we get back to Steffi and Hope. And this was fun because Hope was like, I fought so hard for my marriage. I fought so hard for my relationship with Liam. I fought you for him. Oh, you could have mentioned, why can't you mention the time you married his brother? Oliver. That time you was in Italy for 4 years. That time you married Thomas because you were trying to socially... Okay, maybe back then Thomas was manipulating her, but still, you get my point. But I was happy Brad Bell finally addressed that, So for some reason he decided to make it seem like that never happened. No, Brad, that happened. You created it. We all had to sit through it because of you. So that's what happened there. I don't know. I think that everybody has their different opinions on this. In my opinion, it has changed drastically in 72 since Friday. My opinion has changed so much. And I don't have a completely different opinion. I still haven't fully gone back to liking Thomas yet, but I'm getting there. As long as they keep up these great episodes with him. But something tell me tomorrow he's going to be ruined again. Because apparently tomorrow him and Hope are going on a trip, and something tells me Brad Bell's gonna find some way to make it Thomas's fault. But maybe not, because I was expecting when I saw Monday's episode yesterday to get at the end of it and hate Thomas once again, but I ended it with, you know what? This ain't all Thomas's fault. And then at the end of this episode, Steffi and Hope hug, which for most people, I'm sure they found it nice, and I'm sure for other people they found it to be whatever. But honestly, I've watched this program for 12 years, and honestly, out of everything I've ever saw in this program, this might be one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. And that's saying a lot. Because I watched all of 2019. But this is one of the dumbest things I've ever saw. Because you cannot, no one can sit here and say these two people should ever be friends. Steffi Forrester, Hope Logan should never be friends. I mean, because they hate each other. Let's be perfectly honest here. And most of it, I don't even think has to do with Liam. Only parts of that does. Only the past 10 years has to do with Liam. Most of it, I think, just come some age for the fact that their moms for their entire life, always told them, oh yeah, by the way, that's their problem. Steffi's hatred for Hope comes from her mom's hatred of Brooke. In the sense that for most of Steffi's and Thomas's life, all Taylor did was, Brooke screwed us over. The Logans screwed us over. And then, of course, when during the love triangle from Hell, Taylor's whole thing was, Steffi, don't let Hope take Liam from you, like Brooke took Ridge from us. So that plays a role in this too. Which is why I don't like the fact that supposedly Taylor and Brooke are friends. And also, I just don't like Taylor in general. She's horrible. I think these past 3 episodes, if I could describe these past 3 episodes in a nutshell, different, interesting, and less annoying. And I mean that because it does kind of seem like repeating dialogue. But it has become so crystal clear that right now in 2023, Thomas is trying to be a better person. And Liam's also trying to see if he could actually see if Thomas has changed. But he can't. Because even if everyone wants to go, Hope's trying to tell him that. Hope's not actually trying to tell him that. Hope's trying to tell him he's that opposite. Honestly, Hope's like, no, Liam, he hasn't changed. But I got to say that he has changed so that he will stay obsessed with me. This is how this works. I mean, all Hope does is try to defend herself and cries every 5 seconds. She's like, I don't know anymore. Also, this hug at the end, I do not care for that. No, Brad, nobody wants these people to be friends. This is an even dumber friendship than Taylor and Brooke. Because this would make no sense whatsoever. I just can't wait until all of their kids grow up. Because I really hope Beth hates Hope, and I hope Kelly hates Steffi. Because if there's ever been 2 children on planet Earth that should hate their moms, it should be those 2 girls. And they can bond over it. Go, man, you have a horrible mom. What do you think about my mom? She thought I was dead. She thought I was dead, so she ruined poor Thomas and Douglas' life. I know, my mom slept with my grandpa. Really? Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, she slept with my grandpa. Oh, well, no, yeah, she slept with my grandpa, too. Well, yeah. Well, you have a horrible mom. So do you. I know. Although we do have a great uncle. I know Uncle Wyatt is so great. And we gotta feel bad. I bet they're gonna feel bad for the poor Liam. Like that poor guy's been through a lot, and Thomas too, and Douglas to an extent too. These poor men have been through so much by Hope. Hope Logan, she ruins men's lives, just like her mom, but just in a different way. Brooke ruined men's lives by sleeping with them. Hope ruined men's lives by socially manipulating them and making them feel that they're less than she is. I think I found my new topic for hatred. Hope. Which honestly is gonna be much funner to hate on because I've hated Hope for 12 years now and it's always been so much fun. Except for mine a couple parts, but except for mine is like the end of 2012 and the beginning of 2013. And all of 2018 she was okay. But I got nothing else to say about this episode. Tune in tomorrow for whether or not the redemption of Thomas continue, or will he be set back because of Hope? Can't wait to find out tomorrow. Anyway, I got nothing else to say about this episode. It was a pretty good episode, honestly. And we'll see you guys next time.